we meet, eyes that see so deep, endless hours, no sleep.
Hello, vampires, and welcome to Mystic Falling, a weekly recap series of CW's The Vampire Diaries from two elder millennial women who, surprisingly, have never watched the show before. I am Beth Elderkin.
And I'm Abbey Kindler.
And today, I'm going to move my mic up a little bit. We're going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 7, Haunted. It's our Halloween episode, in that there's a Halloween thing that happens, and that's for an episode called Haunted and being Halloween. It was a very important and tragic episode. It was not very scary. Spooky.
No, and I'm wondering, thinking about it, if it's supposed to be spooky or it's supposed to be more of a commentary on poor Jeremy being haunted by Vicky, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably looking way too into it, and you're more correct. But it's just, wasn't as scary. I'm sorry. It wasn't any more scary than previous episodes.
Well, I think the title actually refers to the book. And once we get to the Halloween party, I'll go into that in a little more detail. But suffice to say, the Halloween party is actually a major plot point in the book. It's part of a huge turning point. It's kind of the 2/3 climax, basically. But it's very, very different. So we'll talk about that. So this episode aired October 29th, 2009. So yes, our official Halloween episode. And this one starts immediately after Vicky has been transformed into a vampire and had her little snacky snack that completed the transformation. She first goes to see Tyler, her ex-boyfriend. He's chilling in his car, and he's like, well, we've all been looking for you. Where have you been? And she's like, everyone, the whole episode just assumes she's on drugs. And I just found that very funny because she wasn't exhibiting that kind of behavior, unless it's a really whacked out drug that they've never seen before.
They thought you were on another bender. I don't think she's ever shown like drug bender tendencies. She has party girl tendencies, not disappears for 2 weeks, shows back up and steals your car tendencies. She's not quite there in her addiction journey, because he's just like, whatever, I guess you're on drugs. And everything she says keeps driving that point to him, even though everything she's saying doesn't make any sense for any drug you would use.
No. But it would make sense if you were a newly turned vampire and you had the hungers, you had the hungries, you had the munchies, and you decide to feast on a little ex-boy toy. But before she can bite the snack, take a bite, Stefan and Damon show up and immediately whisk her away, wipe Tyler's memory. This was the first example of a few where they used special effects to make Vicky more vampiric and like her movements and stuff. And every single time I thought it was actually really good. And I felt like the actress portrayed this whole transformation. I really liked it. And I was sad that it ended so soon.
I am too, but I also know that it would have been I don't know if this would have lasted. Yeah. Like, I think it is tragic that we only get this for an episode, but I do think that it would be very tiring and it would dominate the plot, which is why I think they probably did what they did.
Yeah, I'm guessing that from what I read, there was an interview with her after the episode came out where she talked about how she knew going in that this was only going to be for 7 episodes, that her character was going to have this big moment and die, and it was going to be the shocking death, and they really kept it close to the chest. They didn't say anything, to the point where apparently she couldn't even tell like friends or family. Like, people would see her on the street and be like, why aren't you in Atlanta filming? And she's like, I'm just visiting my family. And she couldn't say, oh, my character died.
It's the early 2000s. We're like at the cusp of like top secret projects. And today they would have just kept her in Atlanta.
Yeah.
The whole time. They'd be like, no, you get to be here, and we're actually going to put you on set a couple of times in case paparazzi see you.
That would have been cool. So Vicky is a new vampire. And her addictive personality combined with her impulsiveness make her a huge risk right away. It kind of reminded me of in Twilight, the reason they don't have vampire children because they can't control themselves. It was very similar to that. And I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I like this version better.
I do too, because again, the idea of vampire children is horrific. But the idea of someone who just has impulse control issues or is just very like, you know, oh, I'm just going to do the first thing that pops into my brain. It is just how I live my life. I think we've all known some people like that, and some people like that are out living their best lives and they're championing the world and they're doing amazing, and other people are just very destructive because the first thing that comes to their brain is never good. And I think that that's an interesting parallel to like Stefan and Damon, who clearly were more reserved even in their human lives, so they were able to control themselves a little bit better. Stefan more than Damon. But yeah, no, Vicky is just she's a problem.
Yeah, she is a chaos monster. She is an issue Damon didn't even anticipate, because there's several moments where we see her unable to control herself, or even unwilling to control herself. Like, she doesn't want to. She's having a great time and she wants to go all in. Like, she threatens Elena, like threatens to kill her. Is like, I'm going to go see your brother and I'm going to have sex with him if I want to. And if you try to stop me, I'm going to murder your face. And then she yells at Matt. She ditches him at the Halloween party to go do her own thing. She continually just talks all the time about, why can't I have human blood? Human blood sounds so much better. Like, why do I need to eat rats? That sounds stupid. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, this again, I know it's we compare the both of them all the time, but it is very reminiscent of the Jessica in True Blood. Because in True Blood, they have the like bottled True Blood, which is what they call it, where it's like they can drink this so they don't have to drink vampire blood. And Bill is always trying to get Jessica to drink the True Blood, and she hates it. She hates it. She craves the real stuff. And yeah, and I think it's an interesting thing with Vicky's character in general of just being like, she does this stuff because she doesn't think she has control and she's gonna die a townie. So now she's super strong, super fast, and has power over everybody and is the ultimate predator. So she is intoxicated with the power.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because she's felt powerless for a very long time, especially with Tyler, which kind of made it interesting that she went to him first. And I don't think she went to him specifically to eat him, to munch, crunch, crunch, but subconsciously I think she did, because he humiliated her and demeaned her and belittled her at every opportunity. So naturally she's going to want to get that revenge. But Stefan and Damon are like, let's take a pause. Stefan is more the pause person. Damon's the more, let's go kill someone. Stefan is like, you're going to eat animal blood. It's going to be fine. You won't be as strong or as cool as the vampires that drink human blood, like this guy right over here.
Yeah.
But you'll have a clear conscience. Literally, she's just rolling her eyes.
Oh my
God.
God.
Why do I need to care about what other people think? I can just eat their faces.
Yeah, she never, and even by the end of this episode, she never actually has to come up against any of her consequences. Like, Stefan's clearly had to do some of this stuff or did it without having the conscious part of it. And so then that's what he's looking back on. He has that lived experience. As opposed to Vicky, who's just like, shouldn't I be able to eat human blood and be super cool all the time? Animal blood is gross. I don't like it. I'm not craving it. So just let me do what I want because I'm super strong and super powerful.
And I look super cool. And I'm gonna look like this forever and ever. And so I'm awesome.
Exactly.
One note that I thought was interesting was how Damon said he only changed her because he was bored. I don't think that's true. What do you think?
I think he did it because he was bored and annoyed. That's my, like, if you look back at the reason he did it, like, it's just she's talking and he's having fun with her and everything. But, like, I think her little human problems annoy the hell out of him. And he just kind of does it to just be an agent of chaos, but also, yes, boredom. I believed him a little.
I have a different take, because if that were the case, he would just kill her. Like, he wouldn't be giving her vampire blood. He would be, and he would wait till it was out of her system and then kill her, or just throw her out of the house. I think what it is that right now his only vampire companion is a total slogfest. Is the straight-laced animal blood. He's got nobody else. He's got no one on his side. So I think that he meets this girl who is crazy partier, who has very little impulse control, and he's like, hey, she's on my level, maybe even a little bit crazier. I can have someone fun to play with. And I think that's why that's why he didn't do it to Caroline, because she wasn't that kind of person. She wasn't going to be she wasn't going to be on his level in terms of the kind of person he needed at the time.
Interesting. I could also see it being again, I did believe him when he said he was bored. I also wonder if it's just he wanted a project. So let's be a dad.
I can fix her.
I can fix her. I can be a dad. Let me raise her and make a good vampire to send out into the world, modeled after my own awesome beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, he's bored in the house and he's in the house bored. It's all very 2020 for him. I don't know. I see where you're coming from. I also do love, like I said, I think the very first episode, the ennui of vampires will never not be my favorite. It's just like, oh. So if you're going to be bored and you need to pick up like a little hobby or a project, an eternity project should fill the time.
Yeah. At least for a little while until you get bored and then you just stake them. Well, meanwhile, we also have Witchy Witch Times in Graham's house. Graham.
Yeah.
We visit her a couple times. I swear, she never leaves her home.
And why would she?
Why? She's got comfy digs. Bonnie has been talking to her for the past couple of days, learning about her powers, but not really. She's learning about the history of the family and she's getting bored. She's like, I want to do some magic shit. And Graham's is like, no, you got to learn the history stuff first because this is a big deal. It's an interesting parallel to Vicky because it's the idea of like, there's this immense thing of power. You need to be prepared for it and you need to be able to control it. And meanwhile, we got Vicky doing literally the exact opposite.
Oh, it's all very superheroes. Like she's getting with great power comes great responsibility. Like that's what Bonnie is enduring, and being 17 and being told to limit yourself and to make sure you understand the foundations before you do cool shit is a nightmare built in and of itself. Because yeah, she just wants to be able to do cool, awesome party tricks and be real impressive and start cars on fire. And Graham's like, I mean, we'll get to that, but like, you need to do it on purpose and for a reason that's cool and rad and not just because you wanna. So shut up. Like, I love she just shuts her down every time. She's like, nope, it's not supposed to be cool. It's awesome and it's a great responsibility. So I'm going to need you to chill out. Go to school or something. Ugh.
And part of Bonnie's costume is the pendant that Damon had taken from the house during the founders party, and she didn't want it. She wants nothing to do with Damon, which was the opposite of what I had suggested last week. So to me, actually happens twice in a way. So she wears it with her totally horrible Halloween costume. This thing is a drag. No, thank you. How could they give her a worse wig than she already has?
I am obsessed with the terrible Halloween costumes, mostly because it tracks for 17-year-olds in a small town that they would, like, they likely drove to a bigger town up north on the old highway to the Spirit Halloween that's in the old mall. And they picked these out without trying them on because you know how those terrible costumes are. And they got home and be like, these are going to be so cool and sexy because, my God, Elena shows up as a sexy nurse. We rated a Spirit Halloween. Like, that's the only answer.
But that was her leftover costume from last year. Like, she didn't even get a new one. So this is her second year. So she was a sexy nurse at 16. Yikes. As a couple's costume with Matt. Double ick. But anyway, when Bonnie's at the Halloween party, Damon sees the necklace and he gets kind of pissy about it. And he's like, I got to take this back. And he tries, but it burns him. And it turns out this is an old family heirloom going back forever and ever. It's a symbol of our magic power. Very Teen Witch. Got to have your pendant.
I love that this show has so much magic jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Magic rings to keep you safe in the light. Magic necklaces to keep you safe from vampires. And also matching bangles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, because Damon is at Mystic Grill. It's the night of Halloween. Everybody's out in their costumes. And we've got Tyler's parents. who are getting ready, presumably to go to a party because they're the mayor and his spouse. The mayor leaves to go do something. He just leaves her, and
He's like, "This sucks. I gotta go." And she's like, "I'm gonna stay here and finish my drink.
I
So
want my
whatever."
martini. So she's drinking her martini. Damon is eyeing her, and he was eavesdropping on their conversation. And he immediately goes and slides into her DMs and sits down and he tries to compel her. He wants to find out about what the heck is going on, because he knows that there's been a cover up, because early on in the episode he's talking about, like, he killed Logan Fell and nobody's talking about it. It's not in the paper or nothing. He's like, someone's covering it up. I got to find out who.
Well, if there's not a reporter, who's gonna report it?
Well, Damon,
Checkmate.
He's our new investigative journalist.
I love this, because it's they're talking about the little compass thing, because Damon's like, "Where did this come from? What is it? Who gave this dweeb this cool object?" And that's kind of what she's talking about, which is what draws him over to her.
Yeah. And she's loving the attention from this sexy young man. Who wouldn't? She's dressed as, from The Great Gatsby, and he checks that, and she's into it. She gets another drink, and he tries to compel her to tell her more information about what's going on. But two things. One, she's got vervain on, presumably on her charm bracelet. And two, he didn't need to do that because she's going to spill everything anyway, because she's totally drunk.
She's just going to tell him stuff because, I mean, if there was a vampire in front of her, she would know, because vampires are scary and they're going to look scary. They're not going to be hot 17-year-old boys.
Well, yeah, and she's like, hey, everybody who was at the Founders Day party couldn't be a vampire because they're out during the day. And they came into my house. Never mind that I literally invited Damon into my house. I just forgot about that. That was
it's whatever. I love stupid humans who think that they are smart. It's another funny trope for me. And she basically confirms that she knows about vervain. Mm-hmm. And she gives him just enough information, and then she's like, "Hey, this sucks and is boring. I'm gonna go. See you later." And he's like, "Ah."
Well, the other detail we learned is apparently Zach was getting ready to supply them with vervain. So he was part of the Founders Council. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Oh, by the way, where is he?" And Damon, in the least suspect way possible, goes, "Oh, he's out of town." Yeah, totally not suspicious.
Everything about what he does in that next 5 seconds is no, he left town. Tell me about your whatever. And does this eye twitchy thing at her, trying to compel her. And she's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, girl, red flags everywhere.
It is kind of funny because I love when there are stories of characters who are part of this big organization, this big secret thing, but they're also kind of inept.
Oh, yeah.
A great example is, did you see the horror movie Hide and Seek?
No.
Or what was I don't think that's what it was called. It was the one where they're playing hide and seek in the house, like these rich people, and basically.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
That's very much a part of the whole movie, is that you have these rich people who do this big ritual to some elder gods or demons or some shit. But they're really stupid. Like, they're trying to find this woman and murder her in their home, but they're just bitching at each other, and they are holding weapons and they have no idea how to use them. I love rich people thinking that they're smarter than they are, and we just get to see them as dunces.
Oh, and it's also the added fact of just being a few generations separated from a good generation. Mm-hmm. Where it's oh, well, there was this council and they ran every vampire out of this town. They came together, they were smart, and they did what needed to be done. We are carrying on their legacy by being the biggest dweebs on the planet, just because we mostly gave ourselves cool ID pins and then that was about the end. We're using their scraps and not coming up with our own things. It's just this fumes situation. And I love second generation, we suck at this, but they were good. So I'm going to try to prove myself, but I do not have the capability at all.
Well, now we are at the Halloween party, which is just a bunch of black lights and fake blood everywhere. And I am frankly surprised that it looks this detailed when at the beginning of the episode, all we saw was someone putting some flannel on a table.
Yeah.
So apparently a lot of other stuff was happening. So this is actually a tie to the book. So in the book, about 2/3 the way through, there's a Halloween haunted house at the school. And it's a big deal. Elena and Caroline and Bonnie are part of the planning committee. It's very elaborate. They take it very seriously. And there's a lot of scary, spooky decorations, like not for the faint of heart. The climax they want to do is Bonnie suggests doing a druid circle with a druid sacrifice because of her whole history with druids. And Mr. Tanner, the teacher who is now already dead, was going to be the sacrifice. And what happens in the book is Elena is going through the haunted house. She makes it to the druid circle. Mr. Tanner is actually dead. And then there's a mob stampede because Tyler accuses Stefan. Everyone starts freaking out. Elena chases after him because he's getting ready to leave town. And that's when she discovers he's a vampire.
Okay.
So the haunted house is a big pivotal moment for Elena and Stefan in the book. So that's why I think Haunted is the title of the episode, because it's not a haunted house, but it was a haunted house in the book.
Okay.
Also, if you look when Vicky is making out with Jeremy and kind of pulls him away, you'll look, there's actually a sign that says Druid Circle. I know that's clearly a nod to the book. So just something interesting to note. You know, little fun tidbit.
I love the crossover stuff. This is fun. I love it.
And Vicky is there. She is dressed as a very costumed vampire. Still looks freaking flawless. Like, it's the dumbest costume ever, and yet she looks incredible. How does she do it?
Hot girls can do anything. You put on something, it's just like, I'm going to put on this really tacky, like, whatever. Oh, it's flattering on you? You look amazing. You look stunning. Okay, cool. I put that on. I look like a joke. You put that on. You look like a supermodel. Life sometimes isn't fair, Beth. And Vicky was able to go out like a champ, dressed as what she was, a vampire.
That's right. Stefan's trying to find her. He corners her at one point, and she's like, I don't care about you or your opinions. I'm going to do what I want. I want to see my boyfriend, Jeremy. And that's all I care about.
So we cannot gloss over the fact that Stefan and Damon are the world's worst dads to a baby vampire.
That's
because
true.
The reason she is at this party is because Damon is convinced she needs to go outside and get out of the house at night, and goes, I'm going to teach you super speed. And Stefan like kind of comes along just to be grumpy about it. And then he goes, yeah, just do this. And she goes, cool, awesome. And then runs away from them, and they just watch her go. That's the whole, they just let, oh, oops, damn. Guys, what are we doing? Yeah. So that's why she's at the party, because Damon decided the first vampire trick they needed to teach this vampire they can't catch how to be faster. Cool. Yes. An impulsive vampire.
And she ended up at her house and couldn't go in without an invitation, which I thought was an interesting detail, that like the vampire invitation thing also applies to your own home. She refuses to let Stefan inside the house. He tries to bring her back. She's like, leave me the frick alone. So she's gaming the system. She's figured things out. But yeah, so she starts making out with Jeremy. She's being very aggressive. And while Elena and Stefan are running through the throng of partiers trying to find them, they go out to the buses. She's making out with him super hard, starts biting his lip, being very aggressive. And so one really funny moment that I want to mention. So Elena Dobrev is a much better actress than I was originally giving her credit for.
Okay.
There's one exception. Her yelling, Vicky, no, was the worst thing. Like,
oh, it was so
she
bad.
could not yell. That was such a bad yell.
It's a bad yell. Yeah, it's a Vicky, no. And then we're going to just transition into my whole standout moment here is Elena goes to stop this. Vicky has already previously threatened Elena, basically being like, I'm going to do what I want. You can't keep me from your brother, blah, 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 blah. So Vicky tries to stop this, or I'm sorry, Elena tries to stop this. Vicky basically starts attacking her. And by basically, I mean literally starts chomping down on her neck. And the moment Elena starts screaming, like the moment, Stefan reflexively reaches down, picks up a broken piece of pallet off the ground, like the Boy Scout he is using found objects, and fully stakes Vicky. without even thinking. And he's horrified. You can tell he's upset by it. He didn't want to do this, but when it came to saving Vicky versus saving Elena, the answer was always going to be saving Elena. And so he kills her. And I love what they do for a death of a vampire, because she just gets like a little bit like gray and bloated in the skin and stuff like that. Like, she looks like a corpse for how dead she is. I'll be interested to know if when you stake an older vampire, if they decay fully.
Apparently, so I actually got some behind the scenes stuff about this whole moment from the interview that she did with Entertainment Weekly. Apparently in the original version, she did turn into dust, but they decided to change that. Okay. I like this a lot better.
I do too. Because
the dusting is just so done. I liked the chalky, it almost looked like it was like Pompeii. It looked very Pompeii. Like she was like frozen solid as this corpse bloated thing, which I loved.
But I like this, but also the resulting part of like them calling Damon and then Damon standing there and telling Elena that she had to go. And you can just tell he is using every bit of his energy to not like lunge at her. He has control, but even he has his limits apparently. And this is the episode, by the way. I don't know if you can see my note in the show notes. I love him. I've decided that I love Damon.
All right.
I've picked a team, and it's Damon. This episode solidified it for me. It actually solidified mostly during your standout moment, which was interestingly enough. But yeah, I've decided. I've sided with Damon.
But yes, Vicky is no more. She has been staked, and she is a dead vampire. And this was a very shocking moment for fans, apparently, because they weren't expecting a main character like this to be killed off so early, which it makes a lot of sense. I remember talking last week, my theory about Jeremy becoming a vampire hunter and and attacking Vicky. Well, that clearly is not true. That said, I still think he's going to become a vampire hunter. And I am kind of right, because the actress who played Vicky said in the interview that the original version they filmed was Jeremy staked her to save Elena.
Interesting.
They filmed that, and then 2 weeks later, apparently the showrunner or something called her and was like, "We need you to come back. We're going to reshoot this thing. We want it to be Stefan's heroic moment saving Elena." So they did that instead. But I'm kind of right in a way.
You were kind of right in a roundabout way, yes. But I will say I do like Stefan doing it better. With the cool part of this is that Jeremy was there. Like in a different show, I think Jeremy wouldn't have seen what happened, and we wouldn't have needed to do what comes next. But like they were just like, no, he's fully there. He's there, he sees it, and he's mostly crashing out about the fact that she's dead because he can't process that Stefan stabbed her with a chunk of wood. Like that part isn't processing. All he knows is that she's dead, and he's off the deep end. He's off the reservation.
Yeah, he is destroyed. He just is sobbing. Had to give the actor props. Like, it wasn't the best performance, but I thought he did a fine job.
He did, yeah.
And he's like, "I want this to go away. Why does everyone keep leaving me? I don't want this pain anymore. This just hurts too much." And so Elena makes a decision that we're going to talk about. It's my standout moment. And I don't know if we have the same opinion or different ones. I guess we shall find out. She goes outside and she is distraught. You know, this is her little brother by like a year. So I don't know why she keeps calling him little brother. She wants to protect him, and she doesn't think he's going to be able to recover from this. So she asks Stefan to erase his memory, to change it, to compel him to move on. And Stefan says, well, he can't because it's probably not going to work. But I also think he doesn't want to. I think he does not feel comfortable doing so. I think even if he could, I don't think he would. But Damon immediately shows up, and very soft, very subdued Damon, very different. Definitely a reaction to Elena dressing him down about his lack of humanity earlier. This is him showing that. And he says, "I will do it. I'll do it for you. No questions asked. Just tell me where he is. Tell me what you want." Like, very matter of fact, what do you want him to believe? Here you go. He goes upstairs, happens off camera, he comes back, says it's done. Elena's also freaking out, saying she wished she could do the same thing. And for a hot second, you think maybe she's going to. And then, of course, she's not going to because she doesn't want to lose her love for Stefan and probably for Damon, too. And that's it. And so now, presumably, he has forgotten. He believes that she's left town and that it's for the best. He's going to move on with his life. I'm sure none of that's going to bite us in the butt.
No, this is a perfect airtight plan that's good and rational, and every therapist ever would say completely healthy.
Yeah, because, as we know from Vicky and Caroline, compelling and erasing memories always works and never backfires and never comes back to haunt you.
Makes you a perfectly stable human being, and your brain actually functions a little bit better, oddly enough. What were your thoughts on this action, Beth?
Wrong choice. Wrong decision.
I agree. However, narratively, I like it a lot because it does make sense. Because Elena is also a broken, destroyed person, and she's learned a lot of information in the past 24 hours. And so, obviously, her decision-making skills as a 17-year-old who is still very actively in mourning. I know Professor Tanner, or whatever the hell, was just like, your parents died before summer even started. Boring. Be over it. They're still in that state of, you aren't making the right choices when your parents die. Try and take care of your own. Where is their aunt in this whole situation?
I was shocked. This was an episode where her lack of presence was noted because she wanted to be there for Jeremy 3 episodes ago, and here he is in the most vulnerable time in his life. Nowhere to be found. It's like they live alone. It's like she doesn't exist.
She's in her room, frantically dialing her ex-boyfriend who is dead now. You're like, why isn't he answering? I don't care what's happening outside. Why isn't he answering? So I think it's a very toxic choice. And the fact that 2 vampires who are also very toxic were just amazing idea. I can't do it because I'm not strong enough, but here comes my cool older brother who can definitely do that thing for you. And he's going to do it, and it's going to be kind of sexy when he is just as you wish. All of it's a bad idea. I just like that it's being enabled by 2 also bad idea machines. I love bad ideas that are validated.
And I do think that this choice is going to lead to Jeremy hunting vampires. I think this is still part of his journey because I definitely see him and Elena being at odds in some capacity. And before I thought it would be that he was angry at Vicky for, angry at the world and for Vicky for what has happened. But now I think it's going to be once he discovers what actually was going on, once he fills those holes in his memory, he's going to blame the vampires for what happened to Vicky, and he's going to want his revenge.
What if haunted is how Jeremy feels about this now? He doesn't know what's going on. It's just living in his subconscious. And he becomes a vampire hunter or just anti-vampire. And he never gets that memory back. It's just a scared part of his brain that didn't quite get rid of all the pieces of a predator killed the love of his life. And now he is dead set against it from existing ever again.
I mean, the past will come back to haunt you.
If we don't learn from it, Beth,
how can we grow? Well, Abby, let's take a trip to our wonderful Abby's Fashion Corner. What fashions inspired you this week?
Spirit Halloween fashion, but Beth, Caroline did not in fact wear a Playboy bunny costume as I predicted last episode. She wore some, to be fair, I was close. She was wearing a purple corset get up situation, but unforgivable. Honestly, I'm obsessed with, I was obsessed with Elena's sexy nurse costume because why is a child? She's a child. I know that the sexy costume thing kind of happens, but I think we could have maybe not done sexy nurse.
I agree. And also Matt, when he finds her and she's covered in blood and has a torn chunk out of her shoulder, and she just goes, someone sprayed fake blood on me. It's fine. Matt goes, okay.
Oh,
and
yeah.
moves on with his life.
What was Matt's costume when they went as a couple? Was he just like a fully dressed doctor man?
It looks like he was a doctor, yeah. It looks like he's in
Okay.
scrubs.
Yeah, that reminds me there's a restaurant in Vegas. It's called Heart Attack Grill. It's that place that's like famously like if you weigh over like 350 pounds, you eat for free. And all the burgers are called like the triple bypass, and you get a hospital gown when you go inside. All the waitresses are naughty nurses. So they wear the whole thing. But then all the guys are doctors. It's all very regressive, but that's what it reminded me of, being like, I'm going to be a sexy nurse. What are you going to be? I'm just going to be a professional doctor. Like, I'm going to wear scrubs, not sexy scrubs, just scrubs. Just scrubs. You can look like you haven't been scrubbed up for surgery. I, on the other hand, will look like I am immediately headed to surgery. I even came with this pager. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do all kinds of.
Oh, he's coding? Gotta go.
Oh, sir, I got a code. Got a code blue. Gotta go.
Oh, it's outside? Oh, it's my sister? Shit.
Oh, I got a code Miller Lite. I gotta go crush some in the back. Let's go. Stat. I need 30 cc's of Jaeger in my mouth.
Well, everyone, that was season 1, episode 7, Haunted. And we are going to be haunted with the memory of Vicky, who is dead. Whether she comes back, who knows? Apparently death has no meaning on this show, so I guess we'll find out.
Okay, sorry. I had to double check if 30 cc's of Jägermeister was a lot. It's about 1 ounce.
Even like 1 cc of Jaeger is going to be too much. That shit is...
That's
undrinkable.
Jaeger and I broke up when I went through my Jaeger bomb phase, so we don't do that anymore. Like I said, elder millennials, the idea of a Jaeger bomb makes my whole body hurt.
Yeah. Now that I'm older, an elder millennial woman, I have treated, like when I was younger, like my husband and I would sing sake bomb, sake bomb, sake, sake, sake bomb. And now we sing sake's on, sake's on. To get Henry to put his socks on so he can leave the house.
First of all, that's amazing. I love the progression of our lives. Second of all, I'm now remembering I only ever had sake bombs with you.
Yes.
You were like, have you ever had a sake bomb? And I remember very clearly saying, I've had a Jaeger bomb. And you're like, same thing. And they showed up. And that was also the first time I'd had edamame. You opened me up to a whole culture, Beth, of sake bombs and edamame.
And now sake's on.
Were we in Texas for that?
Yes. I think this was the first time we hung out.
I think it was. And then it was like the next day we were hungover and we went to the Alamo because I was like, we have to go.
Yes.
I have to look at it. I have to remember it.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining us for this latest episode of Mystic Falling. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get those podcasts. If you want to see our wonderful faces, you can follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow us on Instagram and join our Facebook page. We're going to be back next week with season 1, episode 8, 162 Candles. Stefan's got a birthday coming up.
Oh, that makes more sense. I was just like, what is Bonnie going to do? Bonnie's going to go nuts.
Wait, is there a comet again?
There's a comet. Bonnie's going to light the candles. Like, she's not going to mean to. She's going to light every single candle. I bet she lights every single candle in Mystic Falls. That's my prediction for next week.
Well, one thing we're also going to see is a friend of Stefan's named Lexi is going to be arriving in town. So we could be getting another vampire. Well, obviously we would, because otherwise how would they be alive? If they're an old friend, I'm presuming it's from way back when.
It's a geriatric. It's just a woman with a walker. Stefan, remember me?
Or he knew her in like the 90s in his grunge phase. And she's like, hey, what's up? I've got a minivan. I've got 3 kids. Sake's on.
Sake's on.
So thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. In the meantime, drink your vervain, wear your ring, and Abby, is it sake's on or sake bomb?
I think it's sake bombs this week.
I agree.
Moon